When I wash up on that distant shore, I'll trade my rags for some brand new clothes. I know from the belly of my mother you changed my name. I won't be in no shallow grave no more, no more. When I wash up on that distant shore. My soul no more. When I find myself out of time and space, the angels may not know my face. For all the marks and scars, all the pain, all my callous heart.
Jason Lee McKinney and Distant Shore. You know, I played that Tuesday, and the response was crazy. And, you know, there's no reason why it wouldn't be. Isn't that good? Please go out to our website, www.avradio.org, and go to the Artist Spotlight of the Week, and you will find Jason Lee McKinney Band. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are very privileged to have, and to all of our veterans, guys, wherever you are, stop, take a breath. We've got Jason Lee McKinney live with us from Texas somewhere. How are you, my man?
I'm doing good in Amarillo right now.
Amarillo, okay. Texas is a big military state anyway, so, you know, our veterans there, I spent time in Fort Hood myself, and so did my son, and so on and so forth. So let me just put it this way. You know, and I told everybody, we talked about it off air, and I even gave a little teaser. I said, man, you're a very complex individual. But we're not here to talk about that aspect. We're here to talk about some kick-ass music you got going on. If you will, let me start off with just a few quotes, if you will, so everybody can kind of get an idea of what they think. And they already have their intentions of what they think, but this is what other people think. McKinney's voice shines on cuts like The Preach and Old Man Johnson, in which his raw, in-your-face style explodes like fire. That's one. My gosh, there's guys, and I'm talking to our audience, they're out there. Another one, great energy, one of the best live bands I've ever seen. Over the last several years, this band has developed to a sound that combines a lot of unique styles. I don't know if McKinney realizes it or not, but he has played something all of us can believe. How do you take stuff like that?
Well, with a grain of salt, because as much as we have, you know, people saying things like that, there's certainly people that we are not their cup of tea. So we just try to ignore it. We just kind of do what we do. I mean, what moves, you know, early in my career, I would have written for this genre or that genre or this radio format or to please this person or that person. And I just, you know, probably 6-7 years ago, I stopped doing that. It's like, man, I'm just going to write what makes me happy and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, you know, it's ironic you say that, because I have right in front of me where there's a line where you said you got tired of writing for radio, and you finally said, literally, screw it, and you started writing for yourself.
Yeah, I did, just because it's a never-ending, it's a dog chasing its tail. You can't guess, at least when it comes to mainstream radio, you can't guess what is going to be the next trend. And if you're chasing trends, you're always 3 steps behind. And so, you know, it's kind of better to just do what makes you happy. You can do it with passion. You can probably do it well because it's music you actually like. And then, you know, instead of trying to fit into the box, just find the box that you fit in.
Well, you mentioned that, and I'm sitting here, and I know that, you know, according to your bio, you know, you've been signed by a couple recording labels. But on the other hand, you say, and I'm just reading this, you know, that it is completely, intentionally, and proudly you're very independent. So you're going back more to the independence versus the labels, if you will. You're going back to what you were just saying.
Yeah, and it's actually, I mean, this double album, Play Something You Believe, is actually our fourth album. So in 6 years of sort of this musical journey, we've done 4 albums, one of which is a double album that has, 18 songs on it. So it's not like it's held us back. I mean, we've been very blessed. I mean, we're certainly, there's advantages to going that other route. There's certainly more money behind you. There's certain, power and access. And the two things that people always say that, labels are going away and people don't need them anymore. And in some ways that's true because the internet has made it to where you can reach a target audience. But the two things that labels have that the independent artist does not is money and leverage. And so those are things that are hard to come by. But the trade-off for the creative freedom and building a loyal fan base and saying what you want to say, it outweighs, that leverage and that, monetary advantages that you have from the mainstream labels.
Talking about your schedule today, you were telling me that this is your 4th radio interview and you got your show tonight. Being the guy in control, you and the band, and, and I know it's maybe your band, but you still got a whole lot of people behind you. And by the way, would you just give a big shout out to your bandmates?
Yeah, sure. They're actually sitting here listening to me talk or trying to not listen to me. But Barry Strasser is on keyboards and background vocals, and Billy Wright is on bass, and he sings some vocals as well. And he lifts heavy things and is the mellow element of the band. Barry is what we call the anal retentive one of the band. He keeps everything scheduled, and he's always diligent about having the itineraries right where they need to be and delivered on time. He's never, ever late about itineraries.
I love it. I love it.
We have Curtis McDonald on guitar from South Carolina. He's the young buck in the band. And then we sort of have rotating – we have friends that are drummers, and we'll take one out for a while and another out for a while and another. And these last few weeks we've had Simon Alexander from England with us.
Well, it's ironic you say that because we have outside of the U.S., as far as, regular listeners all the time, England is like the second as far as, so great support there in England. So it's nice you got an English drummer. Just say it.
Yeah. So wait, you have a lot of listeners in England. I should know what town Simon's from, and I don't. Let me ask him. Coventry. He's from Coventry. Sounds like something Harry Potter would hang out at. But
we love our English musicians and our great supporters. So, oh my gosh! All right, now your shows. My gosh, this is great. I love it. Your shows have been described, because you had one tonight, as very fast-paced, nonstop passion and a deep drink from Clean Code River. Wow, what the hell does that mean?
Well, the guy that said that is probably one of if not the best songwriter in Texas, and he's always very philosophical, and it just I think just saying that the passion spills out, and that it's about making connection. I wasn't really BSing when it said in the bio that the only time you get with somebody is that moment, and so you got to pour everything into it. Now that doesn't always mean being over the top. I mean, you don't want to see a guy if you're playing a small cafe, because we play everything from front of 25, 30,000 people down to like front of 6 people, depending on where we're at and when it is, and
sure.
It's certainly got to temper that to different things. You don't want to be acting like Bono, when there's 10 people there at a cafe playing you play acoustic. But at the same time, there's a way to deliver emotionally and energetically and connect with people. And that's really what they're wanting. They're wanting connection.
All right. Now, you hit on something that I'm going to ask, and I've asked this in the past, and the fact that, okay, you play in front of 20,000 people, or you play in front of, a very, very small, intimate crowd, right? So do you change, and I don't mean badly, but do you know what's going on? Did you change your performance in any way because of the energy or the levity of the show?
Not because of any ego thing.
No.
If it calls for it, if the situation calls for it, I'll change it around. But I try to read crowds and give them what they're wanting and try to read their emotional barometer, which can lead sometimes to some in the spot, on the moment set changes, which can get a little bit annoying to some of the guys. But I'm just trying to give people what they want when they want it. But a quick little story I've had situations where you never know where you're going to impact somebody. We've had situations where we've, played in front of 4 or 5 people, and then, and I'm thinking to myself, it's kind of one of those, like, what am I doing? I need to go home and be an accountant. I need to do something else. And you're thinking that, but then you go ahead and give everything you got and just let the chips fall and go, and my mantra is I'll turn around and be like, well, boys, we're still getting paid. And so, but then getting a message from those 4 people that, one of the couples, without going into too much detail because it was a private thing, but had gone through some very, very tough stuff in their family, some illnesses and some deaths, and that was really, the moment that they got to, for the first time, have a release in a positive way and have fun and be out, and it sort of brings it into perspective that you don't know when or who or how you're impacting people. So, your job is to show up and play and give everything you got. I mean, your job is not to give a half performance for the people that paid because they paid.
You know what? I mean, you just, and to my listeners, I say basically the same thing what you just said. I mean, we're here, we're in our 7th year now, nonstop, and none of us, by the way, no offense, but because I believe what you're doing, none of us are paid. We're all volunteers here, and it's just so rewarding when, I don't know if you heard my prelim before you came on, but I was saying that, I've been out and about, and somebody would say, my God, I was in Iraq and I listened to you. And like, what? I haven't, so you really have no idea. You're correct.
Right.
Now,
your thing is that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was saying, the only thing you can do is your job. That's all you can do.
But I'm reading a line out of your bio, which, by the way, I love piss and vinegar, just to give you a little rundown on that, where I'm going with this. It says, McKinney blends a snarling musical underbelly full of equal parts trained prowess and an almost out-of-control piss and vinegar attitude. What's up with that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, talk about the complexity thing. I'm a fairly educated guy, but I come from a background where my father was a rugby player and my mom was, backwoods, grew up in a trailer park with a outhouse and tends to be kind of feisty. So it's one of those, I grew up very lower class, blue collar, and I don't say that as a derogatory term. I say that as I grew up being raised by very hardworking people.
So did I.
And so I think I still have that sort of Protestant work ethic, and that the Irish rugby player, don't mess with me, and I don't mind. And the other thing, that's just the personality. At the same time, I like to read and I like to study and I like to know new things, and that's on the personality side. But then the music side is, I think that you need to know how to play well, and you need to know music theory, and you need to know how to make things that are, that stretch a little bit beyond just the pop swill that we hear and just the simplistic nature of pop music. But at the same time, I don't think it should ever be, the trained part of it, the technicality of it should be put higher than the emotion of it. At the end of the day, I'd rather hear somebody sing a little bit out of tune but sing with passion than I would hear somebody play every note flawless and it's very mechanical. And so I think that's where the balance comes in, that if I'm going to lean, I'm going to lean towards the emotion. But I think that it's good to know as much as you can.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's my mantra as well. I mean, I got to be honest with you. So this is your life? Is this all, I mean, I don't mean this badly, but is this your full-time job? Is you guys are out traveling all over the damn place?
Well, we travel a lot. It's at least a good second thing. All I do is music. I'm a music business professor, and I do that. I teach at Visible Music College in Memphis. I'm the music business department chair, and I'm there 2 days a week, and then we're on the road anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week, and then the other 2 days I like to be at home with my wife and kids. So,
yeah, I was looking somewhere where you says like you play over you played over 2,000 shows. Now, what time frame is that?
That's including several bands. That's not. It's not like we're hitting it 300 days a year or anything like that. I mean,
I'm thinking
we play we play a lot, but you know, we don't play. That's an accumulation, I will say.
All right, I go say, damn, a professor. I was going to say, damn, what are you doing? So, all right, how can people go out and get your guys' music, and how can they connect with you?
Well, connect with us. I mean, you know, they can everything from just Googling my name, and I'll be the first thing that comes up, to, you know, JasonLeeMcKinneyBand.com, Jason Lee McKinney Music on Facebook, or at JLM Band on Twitter, which I think is how I got hooked up with you guys. A fan made some suggestion or something that you guys listened to us, and you did, and we're grateful for that. And then also we're on Instagram. You can buy our stuff on iTunes. You can order directly from us. You know, we're all over the internet. It's the modern world we're living in.
You know, and I found them. You know, well, first of all, we wouldn't even exist as a radio station if it wasn't for the internet. So you got to love technology. Well, with that comes
right.
you know, two-edged sword, because sometimes technology screws up, and then you know how that works. But anyway, Jason Lee McKinney of the Jason Lee McKinney Band has been our guest and my guest, and I want to tell you and all the band members there, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. And to all of our veterans and men and women around the world, this is home. This is live, guys. You're listening to us live. And by the way, this will be put into an interview on our website, so you don't want to miss it. So, Jason, thank you. And if you had anything to say to our men and women around the world taking care of us, what would it be?
Just thank you. And, you know, I can't comprehend what they go through and what they do, but we certainly appreciate it. And it's not an appreciation that's on the surface level. That, you know, we realize that there's a huge sacrifice in us getting to, you know, do the things that we do. And unfortunately, we don't notice it enough, but we should. And so we'll just say we appreciate it. And thank you very much.